Hello! So you're a PvE-er who doesn't like to PvP, but you need the transmute crystals from the end of campaign rewards. This video has some tips on how to reach tier 1 fast and easy, even as a PvE-er in Cyrodiil. Tip number 1. Lock the main 30-day CP-enabled campaign to the faction in which you have the most characters, because this is the most populated campaign and you can always find fights, especially during prime time hours. So for example, if you have 3 EP characters, 1 AD and 1 DC, it makes sense to lock the campaign to the EP faction and get to tier 1 with those 3 characters. Tip number 2. Even if you don't have a dedicated PvP build and you don't want to change your PvE build for the brief time you'll spend in Cyrodiil, there are still things you can tweak to increase your survivability, like eating tri-stat food or using a monster set that gives resistances or resources. If you have any skills unlocked that you don't normally use in your PvE role but might come in handy in Cyrodiil, swap to those as well. These include shields, healing, and any skills that give resistance buffs, evasion, expedition, or sneaking. If you have them unlocked, you might as well use them while you're in Cyrodiil. Healing skills in particular are an easy way to gain AP by healing others who are fighting. Tip number 3. Join a group. There's usually people recruiting in zone chat, or you can just ask if there are any groups running. When you join, make sure you have siege in your inventory, like ballistas, walls, and repair stones. This is good for 2 reasons. Firstly, you'll be useful, since as a PvE-er you won't be very effective in a fight, and secondly, you can make a lot of AP from sieging. Also, make sure to have your siege slotted because you can't slot things during combat. Tip number 4. Grab the repeatable quests for killing enemies, capturing keeps, and so on. Even if you don't plan on specifically completing them, they might get completed anyway during your time there. Tip number 5. Pick your fights. If you have a slow horse and you see a call about a keep in the other side of the map, don't go there because the chances of the fight will be over by the time you get there. Instead, try to find things to do locally. Tip number 6. Boost your AP gain. If you kill an NPC boss in a delve, you get a 20% boost to your AP gain for an hour. There are delves close to the gates in each alliance, plus you get to do some PvE. Hooray! Tip number 7. If you don't want to be involved in any fights, get some repair stones or gate repair kits and go around repairing buildings. It will take longer, but it's the safest way to gain AP. My final tip is not to be afraid to go into Cyrodiil as a PvE-er. You might die, and fighting other players can definitely be stressful and frustrating, but try to see the humor in the situation and think that soon enough you'll be back to PvE land and with a bunch of transmute crystals in your inventory. Who knows, maybe you'll enjoy your time in Cyrodiil and go back for more.